This is Roger. I'm back. So this particular topic is probably the most difficult of all of these. And before I start, as we are recording this, it's June 2024, which is the National Cancer Awareness Month. And everyone ought to know that the statistics are pretty bad. We've made great advances, but 1/3 of the women in this country are going to get cancer at some time in their life. If you're a man, it's going to be 1 in 2, likely. This year, we're going to have probably 2 million new cases of cancer and 600,000 deaths. So it's really an epidemic. And on that point, I want to focus on one thing in particular, and that's early detection, because statistically, I have read that if a cancer is detected early, survival is about 80%. If a cancer is detected late, survival is about 20%, depending on how you define those terms, early and late. So you can see that early detection is super important. Now, there are federal agencies that simply don't believe that, especially for my cancer, pancreatic cancer. In fact, the official position of the FDA is that you're going to die anyway, so who cares about when you detect it? So it's very difficult to get FDA-approved early detection. I'm Exhibit A for the contrary argument to that. But in any event, I want to talk a little bit about early detection. And I want to tell you a tale of two brothers. So I was diagnosed at stage 2B through a liquid biopsy, a blood test, and I followed up with an MRI, both of which I obtained privately, and both with no symptoms or any indications, or certainly not with any doctor's recommendations. In fact, my doctors did everything they could to talk me out of getting these tests because I have no symptoms, so it's unnecessary. But anyway, I got those tests and I was diagnosed. I went through 7 months of combined treatment, surgery, and then things afterwards. Now, I finished my chemo in February of 2023, and that was the same month that my older brother started his chemo, because he was diagnosed that month with Burkitt's lymphoma. Now, when I was diagnosed, the first thing I did, almost the first thing, one of the first things, is I let everybody I know about early detection. I've not been quiet about this at all, even though it's probably not the most beneficial thing to me personally to do. And some people took me up on that, some people did not. I heard from several people, they went to their doctor and said, we want to get early detection, and their doctors tried to talk them out of it like they tried to talk me out of it, which is very shocking and surprising. Other people went and took the test and came up with markers, but then didn't do anything about it. But at least they know that they're at risk. But a lot of people really did not want to know, and they really wanted to delay this, and they did not get tested. So by the time my brother was diagnosed in February, his cancer was at an emergency stage. In fact, the doctor said he would not, when they wheeled him into the emergency room, they said he would not have lasted the weekend if they had not got him into surgery immediately. It was Burkitt's lymphoma. It's something that is highly treatable as far as cancers go. And he went into what the doctors call was a clean bill of health, full remission by that summer. And unfortunately, he died in October. It came back in late August. And at that point, it was just too far along. There was not much that the small hospital where he was at could do for him. Might have been a different story in a bigger hospital that uses CAR T therapy, but I guess we'll never know. So the important thing that I want to impress upon people is that I think his outcome would have been better if he had gotten early detection, if he had found this early. I think it would have been better if it had been monitored a little more closely, especially the recurrence. And in my mind, everybody ought to be doing their own, whether insurance covers it or not. If you can, and insurance should cover it because the FDA should approve these things. But even if it doesn't, if you can, it's really useful to get first a liquid biopsy, that's the blood test, and secondly, a full body MRI. And I understand that that's just too expensive and out of range for a lot of people. And that's unfortunate, and I think that's why we should all be lobbying Congress and the FDA to make this just just the standard testing, just like other types of cancers. Prostate cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, this could be standardized just like those are, and it absolutely should be. This is Roger. We'll see you next time.